Okay, be honest with me for a second. You just looked at the time, maybe a minute ago, on your phone, a clock somewhere. So, what time was it? And there it is. That little blank, you looked right at it, and the number just didn't stick. So you check again. And honestly, sometimes you forget that one too. If you're nodding right now, good, because this happens to literally everyone, and nobody ever stops to ask why. It feels like your memory is just broken, like your brain skipped a beat. But here's the thing. Your memory is completely fine. Nothing's wrong with you, I promise. What's actually going on is way more interesting than a bad memory. It's a tiny window into how your whole mind works, every single day. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll catch yourself doing it forever. So grab your coffee. Let's actually figure this out. First, let's clear up the biggest misunderstanding. You think you forgot the time, but you never actually knew it. There's a difference between looking at something and actually seeing it. Your eyes pointed at the clock, but your attention, it was somewhere else entirely. And here's the rule that changes everything. Nothing gets into your memory without your attention first. Nothing. Attention is the doorway. If it's closed, the moment just passes through and vanishes. So when you looked at the clock on autopilot, the door was shut, the number showed up, knocked, and nobody was home. That's it. That's the whole mystery. In one sentence, you didn't lose the memory. The memory was never made. Which honestly, when you think about it, is kind of a relief. Your brain didn't fail. It just wasn't pointed at the right thing. And there's a really good reason it wasn't. Because your brain is doing this clever, slightly lazy thing all day long. Think about how much your eyes take in every second. It's insane. Faces, signs, colors, movement, your own thoughts, a fire hose of stuff. If your brain saved all of it, you'd melt down in about 10 minutes. So it does something smart. It saves almost none of it. It only keeps what you actually pay attention to. The rest just flows by. Checking the time is so automatic, it almost never makes the cut. Your hand does it. Your eyes do it. But your mind barely shows up. Scientists call this encoding, turning a moment into a memory. And encoding takes a little spark of focus. Just a little. But it needs it. No spark, no memory. The moment happens and then it's just gone. It's like taking a photo with the lens cap on. You did the action. You heard the click. But there's nothing on the film. That's your clock glance. All motion, no recording. And the wild part is how often we live like this, with the lens cap on. Which brings us to the real character in this story. Autopilot, the mode your brain lives in more than you'd ever guess. Here's something kind of unsettling, but stay with me. A huge chunk of your day, you're not really deciding anything. You're running scripts, habits your brain wrote a long time ago, brushing your teeth, unlocking your phone, walking a route you know, and checking the time. That's pure habit. A reflex, basically. Your body does the move while your mind is off thinking about dinner, or that text. And honestly, that's not a bug, it's genius. Autopilot frees up your mind for the big stuff. Problems, dreams, worries. Imagine having to consciously think through every single step you take. You'd never get anywhere. You'd be exhausted by breakfast. So your brain says, I've got the boring stuff. You go think. The catch? While you're off thinking, the autopilot doesn't save memories. It just does the thing and moves on. No receipt. No record. So you check the time. Autopilot handles it, and the number never gets filed. You weren't really checking the time. Your hand was. Which leads to a question that's actually kinda deep. If you weren't really looking for the time, what were you looking for? Because a lot of the time, we don't check the clock for the number at all. We check it for a feeling. Sometimes it's reassurance. Am I okay on time? Am I late? Just checking. Sometimes it's a nervous tick, a thing your hand does when you're anxious. Sometimes it's just boredom. Your hand wants something to do. And sometimes you're checking how much longer until something ends. Notice what all of those have in common. None of them are really about the time. The number is just the excuse. The feeling is the real reason. So your brain gets the feeling, reassured, soothed, whatever, and drops the number. It got what it actually came for. The data was never the point, which is honestly a little poetic, if you think about it. This tiny, pointless habit is secretly emotional. You weren't being forgetful. You were being human, reaching for a feeling. And where was your mind, exactly, while your hand did all this? That's maybe the most fascinating part of the whole thing. There's a network in your brain that switches on the second you stop focusing. Scientists found we spend almost half our waking lives in it. Half. Half your life, your mind is somewhere other than where you are. Replaying yesterday, rehearsing tomorrow, drifting through old memories. And in those moments, the present just quietly slips by, unrecorded. The clock glance happens right inside one of those drifts. So really, forgetting the time is proof your mind was busy elsewhere. It's not emptiness, it's the opposite. Your head was full. Quick thing. And I'm genuinely curious, not just asking. When your mind wanders off like that, where does it usually go? The past? A worry? A daydream? I'd actually love to know. That kind of thing is what we dig into here. So if a place comes to mind, hold on to it. We'll come back to why it matters. Now, if this looked but didn't see thing sounds familiar, it should. Because it's the exact same reason you walk into a room and forget why. You had a reason, a clear one. You stood up with a mission, and then you crossed the doorway, and it vanished. Scientists actually studied this. They call it the doorway effect. It's real. Your brain treats a doorway as the end of one scene and the start of another. It clears the desk for the new room, and your little reason gets wiped with it. Same mechanism, same brain, just a different everyday moment. Once you spot it in one place, you start seeing it everywhere. You'll reread the same line in a book 3 times. Same thing. You'll get introduced to someone and lose their name in 2 seconds. Same thing. It was never that you're forgetful. It's that you were somewhere else. And that should take a little weight off, honestly. You're not losing your mind. Your mind is just incredibly busy. But here's where it gets real. Because there's a quiet cost to all this. And it's worth talking about, honestly. If half your life happens on autopilot, then half your life isn't being recorded. And that's part of why time feels like it's speeding up as you get older. Think about it. A new place, a new experience. Time feels slow and rich. Because your brain is recording everything. Nothing's on autopilot yet. But a routine week? It vanishes. Because almost none of it got saved. Same 7 days. But one is a rich memory, and one is basically blank. The difference wasn't the time. It was the attention. So in a strange way, attention is how you actually live longer. Not more years. More moments that actually register. More life that sticks. And it goes beyond time. It's about the people in front of you, too. How many conversations have you had on autopilot? Nodding, but somewhere else. How many sunsets did you see without really seeing? This isn't to make you feel bad. We all do it. I do it constantly. It's just worth noticing what autopilot quietly costs us. Because the good news is, and there really is good news, you can turn the recorder back on. Anytime you want. It's free. And no, the answer isn't, be mindful all day. That's exhausting and impossible. You don't need to be present every second. Nobody can. You just need a few little moments where you flip the switch on purpose. Here's the simplest one. When you catch yourself on autopilot, just name it. Literally think, oh, I'm drifting. That tiny noticing flips the switch. You don't have to fix anything. Noticing is the whole move. Second one. Pick one ordinary thing a day and actually be there for it. Your first sip of coffee, just taste it. That's it. 5 seconds. The walk to your door. The sound of rain. One hug that you actually feel. You're not adding time to your day. You're adding life to the time you have. Third one, and it's my favorite. Use the doorway against itself. Every time you walk through a door, take one breath. Just one. It turns that little memory wipe into a tiny reset. A moment of here. None of this is about discipline. It's about catching little windows. And the wild thing is, the more you do it, the more natural it gets. Your brain learns, oh, we pay attention to this kind of thing now, and slowly your days stop blurring together. They start to feel like they actually happened, because you were there for them. That's the quiet little gift hiding inside this whole silly habit. The forgotten time was never the problem. It was a tap on the shoulder, a little reminder asking, hey, where actually are you right now? Not on the clock, not in your phone, here, in your actual life. And honestly, that's a pretty beautiful thing for a dumb little habit to do. So let's bring it home. Next time you check the time and instantly forget it, don't sigh and call yourself forgetful. Smile a little instead, because now you know the secret. Your mind wasn't broken. It was just busy living somewhere else for a sec. And maybe, just maybe, use it as your little cue. A tiny nudge to drop back into the moment you're actually in. Because that moment, this one right now, it's the only one you actually get. The clock will keep running whether you watch it or not. So you might as well stop watching it and start living inside it. Funny how a habit this small can point at something this big. That's kind of the whole thing we do here, by the way. I take the tiny weird things everyone does and find the human underneath. If that's your kind of thing, you already know what to do. Stick around. There's a whole lot more where this came from. Now, one last thought before you go. Today, sometime, you'll check the time and forget it. Guaranteed. When it happens, I want you to do something different. Pause. Look up. Take one slow breath. And just notice that you're here. Alive. In this exact moment. That's it. That's the practice. 5 seconds. As often as you remember. Do that. And these forgotten little moments become your alarm clock. Not for waking up in the morning, for waking up in your own life. And that's a much better use of a glance at the clock, don't you think? So here's my challenge to you. Just for today. Catch yourself once. Just once. And come back to right now. You might be surprised how good it feels to actually be here. Life isn't in the next thing, or the last thing. It's in this thing. The thing happening while your hand reaches for the clock out of habit. Don't miss it. It's better than whatever the clock was going to say. Okay? Coffee's gone. That's my time with you for today. Go be where you are, even just for 5 seconds at a time. It adds up to more than you think. It adds up to your actual life. And honestly, that's worth way more than knowing what time it is. So, what time is it? Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it. See you next time.